are very few US politicians who know how to properly utilize social media. Unfortunately, Donald Trump was one of them. However, John Fetterman is quickly proving that he knows how to use social media to not only push his political messaging, but to essentially destroy his political opponent. Now, on Twitter, he's been going after Dr. Oz, and he has been ruthless. They're both running for Senate in the great state of Pennsylvania. And so recently, Dr. Oz tweeted this. This is from last week. He said, I had an informative discussion about the worst supply chain issues the company has experienced in 39 years. We need to stop Biden's war on American energy and allow our communities and businesses to thrive again. I'll be a voice for you in the Senate. And so John Fetterman quote tweeted that and decided to use this hilarious image. My dream construction truck, really operate and dig, experience the fun with the digger, right? Just kind of like mocking him. And Dr. Oz deleted the tweet, which I think is hilarious, just so funny. And the list goes on and on. In response, again, he deleted the tweet. John Fetterman also called Dr. Oz out for misspelling his own hometown when he announced that he'd be running. So he did that, and let's actually fast forward to graphic 4 here. How do you do, fellow Pennsylvania residents? And it's like an image of Steve Buscemi
from 30 Rock.
From 30 Rock.
People gotta know that's where that meme's from. Greatest comedy I've ever seen.
I love it.
I love
it. And he keeps ratioing Dr. Oz while doing it. Here's another example. So it's a Salon tweet that says Dr. Oz invests up to $715,000 in companies he blames for skyrocketing insulin costs, which isn't surprising. In fact, I think there are probably plenty of politicians, both on the Democrat side and Republican side, who have done this. And in response, John Fetterman tweets an image of the hot dog saying, "We're all trying to find the guy who did this," which I love. But like, I wanted to highlight this because I think it's really, really important to understand what tends to resonate with people, because I think in the early aughts, earnest passion to speak out against the opposing party was effective messaging. But I feel like that earnest, passionate argument doesn't really resonate anymore. In fact, if anything, it seems to empower the right wing more, because all they seem to want to do is own the libs. So if you're enraged, it does. You should be enraged. A lot of the stuff that they do is awful, right? But you have to put that aside and think about, okay, what is the most effective way to message? And right now, I think mocking these people works a lot better than being offended by them, if you know what I mean.
It's a good point, because Dr. Oz is a joke, so treat him like a joke, right? He's a joke. He is running on a as Fetterman's been pointing out, where does he even live? 2, he is running on a medical freedom platform, as there are no vaccine mandates in this country. There are none. The Biden administration implemented, and now, whatever. But at the time, the Biden administration implemented a vaccine mandate for companies with over 100 employees, or you had to be tested. That wasn't even a vaccine mandate. You just had to be tested, even if you were unvaccinated. And so now we're moving into a time period in this pandemic where literally everything's open. I'm here in socialist Brooklyn or whatever. Everything is open. Concerts, sporting events, whatever you want to see, Broadway shows, they're all open. There's nothing that is closed. And so the salience of his campaign, what even is it? Medical freedom? There's no there. And he's a reality TV show host who doesn't have the ability to communicate that well, in my opinion. He's no Donald Trump. And he's also just like not convincing as a Republican in the way that they want. There also was a video of him trying to shoot a gun that he had in the primary. And I saw people responded to me on Twitter or someone else saying, I'm a gun expert and he is like terrible at this. And I've never shot a gun in my life. I'm not into guns, but I saw him shoot it and I was like, no, there's no way he's ever shot a gun before in his entire life.
No,
so he's just not that good at this. And so you can exploit that by treating him like a joke.
Yeah, I mean, I think that his pandering is so obvious. The right wing was not supportive of Donald Trump's endorsement of Dr. Oz. And they're like, what are you doing, bro? Like he was on television for a long time promoting things that we don't like, including a woman's right to choose, being supportive of the transgender community. And then of course, he immediately flipped specifically to win the Republican primary for this Senate race in Pennsylvania. And so look, it's already reflected in the polling, which I love to see, because to your point, I mean, Dr. Oz really has nothing to offer. His platform is a joke. So what I love is that Fetterman not only is taking the right messaging approach in mocking him and doing so effectively, he also has a great platform. So let's skip ahead to graphic 7 here. What I know to be true, price gouging is immoral. The union way of life is sacred. It built this nation. Healthcare is a basic human right. All work has dignity. All paychecks must too. LGBTQIA plus folks deserve equal protection under law. Immigration makes America America. Super strong, well thought out platform. That, of course, touches on social issues that the mainstream Democratic Party pretends to care about, but more importantly, also talks about the bread and butter issues that impacts all Americans. And so he's such an incredibly strong candidate. I'm excited to see what the outcome of this race is. And one thing I know for sure, Dr. Oz, not very excited. His campaign emails are hilarious because he's struggling. So let's skip ahead to the next graphic. This is one of his emails. I'm losing.
Oh, look, and they put urgent. Fetterman in scary dark lighting and Oz is lit well.
A new media poll just came out and Dr. Oz is losing by a lot. If the election were today, we'd lose and socialist John Fetterman would be in the Senate. We can't let that happen. Yeah, so fearmonger about him being a socialist. Socialist was a dirty word, I don't know how many decades ago, but it's not enough to convince a party of voters who already were skeptical of you to support you, especially when you're offering them nothing at all.
I couldn't agree with you more about Fetterman being a strong candidate, and I really think the Democratic Party needs to learn from this race. He's local in that he was the mayor of Braddock. I remember back when I was with you guys at TYT, like that was an interview I helped coordinate because he was just a mayor then. And then he was lieutenant governor. And then, now he's running for Senate. And he is not someone who got like a $20 million parachute from Chuck Schumer like Amy McGrath in Kentucky. He's somebody who's been in the community, who has been elected office at multiple different levels, and he has a really good, strong union platform. And he speaks to that. And if the Democrats really want a chance, they can't just do this short-term thing where they appeal to suburbanites, because that's gonna dry up. And then we're descending into fascist territory in this country. You have to build a campaign that appeals to the working class in this country and promote unionization. Biden has actually done a decent job with his rhetoric on that. And his NLRB has been good in supporting unions and has been the best NLRB in terms of their support of unionization efforts and going after terrible practices from bosses and from corporations and trying to crush unions. That's a good thing, but there needs to be more messaging, more emphasis on the PRO Act, and more broader pro-union politics embraced by Democratic Party candidates. And Fetterman is gonna be, I hope he has success. It's looking good right now, knock on wood. And I hope that, that people actually learn lessons from his campaign.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.